Shatru mitre putre bandho ma kuru yatnam vigraha sandho sarvasminnapi paśyatmānaṃ sarvatrodsuja bhedajnanam bhaja Govindam Govindam bhaja mūḍhāmate Govindam bhaja mūḍhāmate. As we discussed yesterday carefully, that don't waste your time fighting with you, even though the verse says fighting against. So never ever waste your time fighting with you. So how you fight with you? If you observe, always the fighting is visible outwardly, that as though you are fighting with others, with reference to a person, a situation. If nothing happens at time, you understand, this is a very bad time. And in India we have called Shani Dasha, poor Shani, poor Saturn is being blamed for everything. Anything goes wrong in your life, that time Shani. When things goes right, nobody praises Shukra. In fact, the best dasha is called, very promising dasha, because dasha means a period of time, okay? Promising time is Shukra dasha. But Guru dasha is very good, okay? But nobody talks, only very lightly. I think I am going through now Guru dasha. Means Guru dasha means where the Guru Brihaspati is in a stable in your horoscope chart, which gives everything, in fact, but very slow and steady way. Whereas the Shukra, everything gives, okay? The worldly things, whatever you want, Shukra gives. Because he happens to be the Guru of all the devils, demons, okay? So Guru of all the demons, definitely will give all sort of power, position. In fact, those who want to get into this film industry and all these things, so they try to see that whether the Shukra is in a better position or not. So if the Shukra is not in a better position in the chart, so that means that person will not be successful in this, colorful industries, fancy industry. So coming back. So fighting with others means fighting with me, myself. Unless I fight with myself, or what we call as unless there is a conflict in me, I cannot fight with anybody outward. But what happens, instead of resolving conflict in me, I start fighting with others indirectly to strengthen my conflict. So now, when I do not resolve conflict that is in me, now I start fighting. Now, while fighting, I need to create friends. I need to, try to get rid of old things, try to get things new, keep changing, keep doing it. That's why this shopping therapy is being promoted. So shopping therapy means what? You know better. When there is conflict in you, and that conflict has gone deep within without your knowledge. So what you do? Let us do some shopping therapy. It's good, okay? So that is how all should survive, okay? If there is no shopping therapy, especially people like me will, cry more, because all telephone call will come, all problem will come up. Please go for shopping therapy more and more, so that less problem in my life, okay? However, coming back, here that one has to be very careful while making friendship. So making friendship means making a new relationship. relating with a new person, with a new object, or with a new situation. Anything, absolute no problem. And nowadays, you know better. Also, not only we have to say new person, also new object, new under object comes animal, okay? This is the most important thing to talk nowadays. So, put together everything, new, this concept. That means, deep within, somewhere I am tired of me and myself. And when I am tired of me and myself, now what happens? I need some change. And that change is nothing again strengthening, or you can say giving reality. Most important aspect here. Giving reality to the falsehood that you are tired. Because what is tiredness? Just observe. Mind is tired when does same thing again and again. Please see the fallacy in it. The mind is tired or becomes tired when does same thing again and again, or comes across same thing again and again, eats same thing again and again, anything, okay? Whether eating, seeing eyes here, okay? I am touching the ears, seeing or hearing, all these sense organs, when tries to get exposed to the same thing again, mind is tired. Now, with reference to sense organs, this is the beautiful point to understand. When mind discovers that the sense organs, the horses, in Western the Kathopanishad coming, so the sense organs are exposed to the same sense objects repeatedly, that time mind is tired. Am I right? Now next step is, what is mind? What does mind do? Mind does only repetition or not? What is your habit? And what is habit? If you look at any of your habit means what? Repeating the same thing is called habit. Now mind is smarter, can you see? Mind can repeat, but poor sense organs cannot repeat. Mind can happily repeat, no problem. But poor sense organs cannot repeat. Me being the master of my mind, without my knowledge, mind can repeat. And that too, mind is a slave. Under mind there are a few slaves are there, all the sense organs. If they repeat without the knowledge of the mind, without the willingness of the mind, without the whims and fancies of mind, now mind is tired. And once mind is tired, I am tired. Can you see? Can you see the logic? How mind deludes us very conveniently, carefully. So that means mind can do anything and everything, but nobody can do other than mind. Can you see this point? So mind can do. Mind can keep repeating the same stupidity, same thing, absolutely no problem. Even if you don't want. Then like the tape recorder, you are not that, what do you call it? Monogram, that player, okay? Record player, those days, old ones. Keep going round in the same place. Mind can go round, same place, same thought. Not even if, some thought associated to that thought. No, exactly the same thought. But poor sense organs cannot get exposed to the same thing again and again. Is it acceptable? Is it logically really acceptable? If you have common sense, this is that you have to look at. why and how should I get into? That's why what happens? Do not waste your time fighting against all these things, creating enmity or creating friendship with anybody. That's why what you need to. Sarvasmin paśyati ātmajñānavihīnā. Try to see yourself everywhere. So when you try to see everywhere yourself, the mind is being cornered. Because the job of the mind is divide and rule policy. By dividing, by creating confusion, because unless division is there, there is no confusion. So create division, differences, confusion comes, and once confusion comes, we say very beautifully, crab enjoys muddy water. Even if you put that crab in a fresh water, that fellow will make real muddy. Crab will not like fresh water. And this mind is very good, like a crab, creates all sort of confusion. Then once the confusion is really created, mind enjoys. Can you see? And same mind becomes tired, pretends, not tired, pretends that I am tired. And especially when mind is not able to get out, like Abhimanyu. We have beautiful examples, okay? Mind knows to create confusion. Like Abhimanyu knew how to get into Chakravyuha, one type of array during war time. But poor fellow did not know how to come out, because when he was in mother's womb, he was listening to his father when father was talking. Because only 3 people knew that particular thing. One was Lord Krishna, second one is Arjuna, third one is Guru Natharja, not 4th people. And when he was talking to his wife, this fellow was in the mother's womb, listened to it, and meanwhile mother slept off. So while entering time, he could hear everything, okay? Because mother was awake. After that, mother has slept. Poor fellow did not know how to get out. The confusion. So most of the time, mind is exactly like Abhimanyu, you understand? Knows halfway, creates confusion, but does not know how to get out of the confusion. And that time, the helplessness and all other situation happens. That's why what you need to do, best thing is what? Please understand the difference that you create. May you understand all the differences that the mind creates with reference to anybody and everybody. Definitely that is born out of ignorance. And because of Veda Jnanam, Veda Ajnanam, because of the ignorance, there is difference. Now what you need to do? Try to resolve the differences. Seeing yourself everywhere. With this, let us look at the next verse. Another disciple comes forward and says, adds few more points. He says, this is not enough, I can tell you some more points, okay? So another disciple writes, what is that? Kāmaṃ bhaja Govindam, bhaja Govindam, Govindam bhaja mūḍhāmate, kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, mōhaṃ, tyaktvā tmānaṃ, paśyati sō'ham, ātmajñānavihīnā mūḍhāḥ, te pachyantē narakanigūḍhāḥ. Bhaja Govindam, bhaja Govindam, Govindam bhaja mūḍhāmate, Govindam bhaja mūḍhāmate. It is not only creating the differences, getting into new things, also developing a series of thoughts, fueling, encouraging a series of thoughts. which is starting with kāmaṃ, the desire, krōdhaṃ, the anger, lōbhaṃ, the greed, mōhaṃ, the delusion. Because we compare mind with a river. How a river keeps flowing mainly in one direction, remember? How the river keeps flowing mainly in one direction means from source to the ocean. And once in a while tries to go upward, that we have discussed long back with reference to tirtha-sthalam, pilgrim place, where the whirlpool is being created. That's why, that is how the bend takes place. The river takes a bend. So every bend place, the river tries to go upward. So that means you can see but not able to, then finally makes a whirlpool, then again joins. Same thing also, this mind has got two types of journey. One is external, what we call say outward journey. Other one is internal, inward journey. But conveniently most of the time does external or outward journey. Also mind has got capacity to do internal or inward journey. But it is very convenient and natural for the mind to do the external journey. Because when it does external journey, under mind there are many people, means all sense organs, you understand? Mind becomes boss. And because there are many people to work under mind, and mind becomes boss, that's why mind is very comfortable to do the external journey. Whereas when it comes to internal journey, now there is nobody, only poor mind. And along with the mind, please understand, once the internal journey starts, definitely if we again divide this mind again gets divided into four. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. We have discussed everything, okay, in tattva. So mind again gets divided into four categories. So there is a memory, comes and pricks, hey, didn't you do that? Didn't you do that? This is to be done. Like, typical mother-in-law. Never gives you good suggestion, but always points out. Not all the mother-in-law, okay? Most of the cases, okay? Please. That sense of insecurity. So always pointing out, nothing else. Memory job is to point out. And a buddhi, decision-making faculty will say, hey, I told you to do that. What is this? Do now. And buddhi will not try to understand the mind. Hey, after all, you are under me. Shut your mouth. And of course, ego comes up, hey, why you guys are fighting with each other? Hey, you all are working under me. Now poor mind is being crushed, being cornered by other three, with reference to inward journey. Can you see this point? So that's why mind does not like to do inward journey. The moment you ask somebody to close the eyes, what happens? Mind makes at least to eye. I hope you are able to see me, okay? All the eyes, all things will start moving it. The moment you decide to keep quiet silence, or take a pen and paper, or nowadays there is no pen and paper, phone, type it and show. You understand? So you can see how the moment you start taking inward journey, mind job is to have some people to work under him. If we look at as a man, okay? If a woman, how? It is better to eat. So neither man or woman, okay? So here it is being very carefully highlighted. You have to make sure that let your mind not go for external journey. When mind is what we call as extrovert, this kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, mōhaṃ has to come. But I am not getting into details what is kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, we have discussed, we will be discussing in many occasions in detail, step by step, because each one can take few classes. And how it happens, what are the consequences. But here, the series of thoughts, or a thought and its consequences, means each child, thoughts child, grandchild and great grandchild. Means with whole family, okay? Thoughts and its family. When these thoughts are stronger, definitely the person cannot see one's own self. It's exactly like you are having a black glass or spectacles. Now putting that black or dark one, you say, oh, today's sun is not that strong. You understand? A sun is strong as it was, maybe stronger today. But because your eyes are covered with a dark glass, what happens to you? What conclusion you come across? That's why it says, you need to grow out of it. Means making your mind to do inward journey, not outward journey. So making your mind to grow out of it. Kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, mōhaṃ. Tyaktvā, that's why kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, mōhaṃ. Tyaktvā. So you need to grow out of it. Means constantly you have to make sure that there is a growth for you. Most important aspect to highlight. Then only you can see yourself. How to see the growth? That's why please understand. Learning to tap your potentiality. You need to learn to tap your potentiality. Each one is unique. What is in me need not be in you. What is in you need not be in me. I cannot be you. You need not be me. That has to be very clear. But the problem is in me. I want to be everything. You understand? That's why I compete. I compare. And when I compete and compare, and remember all this competing, compare job of the ego. And when I start competing, comparing, and all sort of things happens, definitely I am not able to use or make use of my mind. Means I am not able to tap my potentiality. That's why to overcome kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ, mōhaṃ, you need to learn to tap your potentiality. Try to find out what is best in you. Which area is best in you. With less effort, you can bring it out very nicely. Remember, God is so kind. Must have given something special in you. And that is your USP. Even though you are not product, okay? Because only with reference to product we say USP. So here, you need to see that particular point. That what is that is unique in me? What is that is really unique in me? So once you start, develop that uniqueness in you, then you will discover mind will start listening to you. Mind will start subsiding. Mind will start, becoming a servant to you. Mind will not be bully at all. But the problem is, you try everything, you understand? One day this, no. Next day this, no. So whole life is doing nothing, you understand? You try everything. You know what you call them? Jack of all trades, master of none. That's why try to do something. That's why here he says, please understand. Then only mind will start listening. Once mind starts listening, what you need to do say? He says, sō'ham iti ātmajñānam paśyati. That means the person, the seeker, once mind is stable, the seeker starts seeing the self as what? He am I, means God is me. Again the same thing, paśyati ātmajñānam, in the previous verse, here God. So God is me, I need to see that. So that means when God is me, it's a beautiful concept is bring also indirectly. Mind is really very nice. And mind has got a beautiful logic. The logic is this, that mind cannot think two things at the same time simultaneously. Impossible. Mind cannot think two things simultaneously. Between two thoughts or two types of thoughts, there will be some microsecond difference. At the same time, mind cannot think two things together. I hope this engineers will be able to support me, this concept. CPU also I think works in the same way. Cannot do the two files processing at a time, even though you have multiprocessor. Many programs runs at a time, superficially it is visible, but if I am right, because I need to check, to my understanding it should like that, there will be some microseconds difference between one processing and other processing. Because I look at always, say the computer is nothing but the extension of mind. With that logic I am talking. However, here mind cannot think two things at a time. So that's why we say, where there is a Rama, there cannot be kāmaṃ. Beautiful saying expression is there. When there is a Rama in your mind, there cannot be kāmaṃ. If kāmaṃ is there, Rama cannot be there. Because only one thing will be at a time. That is what is being highlighted here. So if you want to see God in your life, or if you want to see the protection, or if you want to really protect yourself, that means don't encourage your mind either. So you need to adopt one thing. You cannot adopt both. Problem with is, we want 5 fingers to be inside mouth and along with the food. You understand? Because you have soaked, means touched the food, food is very tasty. Now what happens? You are so greedy. You want the food and 5 fingers, everything put together in the mouth. Is it possible? Hey, either food or 5 fingers. Don't try to put both the things together. It will not possible. Try it. So you want everything put together in your life. Hey, that is not going to happen. That's why develop this. Why do you know? He gives the logic. Oh, already time. ātmajñānavihīnā mūḍhāḥ. Those people are called mūḍhāḥ, deluded. Means deluded means what? Those who think that they are knowledgeable person. If you are ignorant, please understand. It is very easy to convince you. Ignorant person can be convinced just like that. Very easy to convince, to make him or understand the mistake of the person has made, whatever. And we say it is easier to make understand a learned person, because a learned person you don't have to talk. Open your mouth, person will understand. I'm sorry. Whereas beautifully said that those who have been little bit knowledge, little bit information, and call them as arrogant. Here is a deluded person. Forget about making him to understand or her understand. You cannot entertain them also. You cannot entertain them, means you cannot make them relax. It's always preoccupied mind. So here, that is what is being highlighted. ātmajñānavihīnā mūḍhāḥ. That time you become a deluded person. When you don't have knowledge of yourself. You have knowledge of anything and everything, not about yourself. Then of course what happens? What happens to them? Te paśyantē narakanigūḍhāḥ. Te mūḍhāḥ narakanigūḍhāḥ paśyantē. So this is mūḍhāḥ, this is deluded one. Literally paśyantē means paśyantē, if you want to say cooked, okay? Literally getting cooked, roasted and whatnot. And where? He says naraka. Naraka means hell, okay? And what is that hell? We'll be talking tomorrow. And they are getting really tortured like anything. And narakanigūḍhāḥ, they are being held captive in narak, in the hell. Not releasing you and torturing you. Remember, not like that. That's why in every religion, all sort of description of naraka comes. Like this sort of concept comes. But that is not naraka, what religious people talk. Naraka, the hell is in you. You don't go to hell. Remember, you don't go to hell. Hell is in you. And who creates hell? Don't tell my mother-in-law creates hell, okay? Or my father-in-law creates hell. Or my neighbor creates hell. My boss, my children, nowadays, my children creating hell, my husband, my wife, everybody creates hell except me. Hey, please understand, nobody creates hell for you. It is you who create hell for yourself. And when you create hell for yourself, of course you are being cooked inside your hell. You understand? Like how the food is being cooked, vegetables one after you put, and how it gets boiled. Poor fellow cannot come out, and even if tries to come out, comes out again. You wash it and again push it back. Hey, be there, don't come out so quickly. So you are being cooked by yourself in the name of called confusion, delusion, and whatnot. That's what you need to do. Now you don't have much choice. Accepting and adapting God in your life. The more you adapt God in your life, the more you are comfortable and kāmaṃ, krōdhaṃ, lōbhaṃ will be reduced. More of it we'll see on Monday. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.